Wake up, nigga. A nigga wake up calls a bitch.
That voice, man. You know that's how I was introduced to it. The comedic, we knew. There's this concept that people don't know that they're black somehow with that other black. So how you talk about colorism in the islands, in America, it's this concept of who's black enough.
Right.
Because we're having a black ass show right now. So let's chop it and break it down. You know, so this idea that somehow that you're living your life, you're like, oh, I had no idea I was black. If everyone's born like that, no one's born knowing if they're black or white or what color, but society gives you, like you said, that nigga wake up call quite early.
Yep. Depending on your environment. Yeah, man.
But then, you know, as black Americans, we dealt with it with such humor.
Right.
Like the great Paul Mooney's, to put that. So he was talking about in reference to, you know, somebody like an OJ, you know, a guy who is living in this world, a certain world, and then something happens, and then outside world says, oh yeah, now see, you know, and that's kind of the context of why I brought this up, because it never goes away. The concept of this person has a nigga wake up call, and it only comes up when that person isn't doing what the group is doing.
Right.
You know, that group or members from that group say, oh, this person forgot their place, which sounds kind of fucked up.
Well, and, you know, it's also saying, like, he doesn't believe what I believe. This is what we're all supposed to believe, and that doesn't work for me. And
that doesn't work for me either.
Yeah, and
that doesn't sound like any bit of freedom.
Exactly.
You're free to do anything in a free democracy except what you want to do.
If you look like me, you can't have a differing opinion than me. Everyone can have their own opinion unless you look like me. Then we got to think the same, or else something's wrong with you.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and
in fact, some that's you know what? That's a good segue, man, to the latest context of a nigga wake up call. So this is Larry Elder, who is I don't know everything about him, but he's starting to pop up in my algorithm lately because I started clicking different things.
Sometimes you got to switch up the algorithm, you know. Sometimes you got to switch it up.
At some point, there's the fear of changing your algorithm is insane to me.
Yeah, it
doesn't. It's almost like these algorithms are the new plantation. Ooh. I'm ooh myself.
Yeah, and they're farming sugar too. It's sweet.
Hey man, exactly. Exactly. We've been talking about plantations, sugar, all of that shit.
Yeah. That was
literally, you know, what we were producing for free or for, you know. Yeah, exactly. So that's separately. I want reparations, but that's a separate thing.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll get into that. That's not going to happen, but we'll get into that. I still want that. I want my bag. Indeed. If it comes, I'm taking it. But the fact is, in our current day, the plantation seems to be the algorithm that you say, oh man, this person, oh they're a this label. Don't listen to them. You know, don't even look over there. Yeah. They don't think like us. Don't look over there. You know.
They're the bad ones.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy how both sides can say that about each other and not get the irony of that too.
That's a great point. And that's what on this show, you know what I try to do with this information that I'm giving is not give it to you with some slant or with some all of it's funny, to be honest. It's like Paul Mooney. It's a nigga wake up call, but how our community handles it. Play the tape. This is from Breakfast Club. Larry Elder, let's go.
I know you probably got to go. Have you ever heard of the term nigga wake up call?
No.
Just the way he said no, you already know.
No.
You are. You already know where this is going, man. Please, Jordan, continue playing that tape.
It is an incident where a person of color forgets that they are of color and are reminded rather brutally by an unexpected act of racism. Have you ever had any of those?
Oh, brother.
Did you hear the hard R?
Oh, brother.
If you hear a black man say that like that, it's about to be a long day for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother.
He hit him with the Ned Flanders.
Yeah.
When you hit him with the respectable brother, oh my God.
There's never nothing good about the hard R.
Not for whoever's on the other end of it. That's for damn sure, brother.
I'm just asking. You think you've ever
Well,
had
I'm acutely aware, Charlamagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you you got to think a certain kind of way? I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not gonna say it upset me, just like I'm not letting you upset me. You know what I mean? I don't tend to get upset over things like that. But what I did say,
well, you just not talk about a nigger wake-up call, and it seemed to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part to have a white guy come in here who also said, by the way, about Mitt Romney. Because he didn't want to put more regulations on Wall Street, going to put y'all back in chains. And Joe Biden has lied for decades about his civil rights record, claiming that he desegregated movie theaters and restaurants in Wilmington, Delaware, when he didn't do any of that. He lied and said that he tried to visit Nelson Mandela during apartheid South Africa. He did not. And he came in here and told you aren't even black and let you think a certain kind of way. It seemed to me that should have been a nigga wake-up call for you, but it wasn't, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, I'm not a Democrat or Republican.
I didn't say you were.
I think both.
I don't know what
trash.
you are. I never even asked you about your party affiliation.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, but you are black.
Absolutely.
And to have a white guy come in here and tell you have to say, think a certain kind of way, otherwise you, quote, ain't black. Wow.
How should I have replied to him, you think?
What I just now said, how dare you insult me and tell me I think as a human being, let alone as a black person? I don't tell you how to think, Joe Biden. How dare you come in here and tell me how I should think? I'm going to vote for Donald Trump if I want to vote for Donald Trump. And if I want to vote for Donald Trump, it does not make me not black. 20% of black.
He didn't know what the nigga wake-up call was 1 second before he said that.
Yeah.
And then Charlamagne gave the definition, and he goes, what about your nigger? And then he says it with the heart on.
Yeah.
He said that with the heart on. This guy's crazy. Don't mess with this man.
Hey, man.
Hey, you better respect.
He knows where he walks, man.
You better respect your elders, man. This guy that I just heard about is 70. He's been on this type of time for 70 years. He's been, he's been very comfortable being who he is.
Well, and you listen to him talk about his life too. He's no slouch when it comes to experience. He came from poverty. He came from nothing. So it's not like he didn't, experience the things that he's talking aren't existing anymore, aren't so important anymore, because he did live the black experience.
Right. But in our community, for whatever reason, if you say brother with the hard R, that's a problem.
Yeah.
For like some people, they can't. It does something to their ears, and they cannot no longer listen.
It's true. It's kind of like how this lady who was yelling at our brother Larry.
The mammy.
She couldn't get over him being a Republican, despite him describing all of the different things as to why he's not a Democrat, why he's never been a Democrat, and the bad things that Democrats have done in order to trick black people, and how Republicans were responsible for a number of things. And so her being so stuck on him being a Republican, being associated with Donald Trump and all of these things, and because of that, she couldn't actually hear what he was trying to say. How many times was he like, we agree, we're agreeing right now, and she couldn't stop yelling?
We're gonna get into that too. That deserves
wild.
That deserves its day in court, man. That mammy deserves her shine. And I have to speak in that slightly disrespectful term only because this person is operating so disrespectfully to a guest on their show. This is a guest who hasn't come on and insulted anyone at least in that moment. I don't know his books. I don't know, what coon activity he's been up to, allegedly or not allegedly. I have no idea. I know the guy that I saw on this interview, and I've watched it 3 times, and I was angered at it. It cooked my carrots. Goddamn it!
Yeah.
Oh my God! It decorated my pumpkin. You son of a bitch! When I saw the way this guy was getting talked to, and talked down to, and interrupted and ridiculed, it was embarrassing. Then it became hilarious.
Right.
It just became hilarious because our community has all these nigga wake up calls to give out.
Yeah.
Like if something bad happens to me, they're gonna be like, "Yep, nigga wake up. You